After taking some time to digest what we saw in the Week 0 opener between the Florida Gators and the Miami Hurricanes, here are some of my initial thoughts. Of course, the game kind of played out exactly like we predicted it to in our preview show. You had two teams breaking in, a lot of new faces on their offensive lines, and that tends to lead to some sloppy football early in the season. That's pretty much exactly what we saw. For Florida, the offense wasn't in great rhythm, had a lot of miscues, and for Miami, their offensive line was really struggling to hold up against Florida's SEC defense. Pretty much exactly what we said was likely to happen in this football game. Now, looking more big picture things for Florida, quarterback Felipe Franks continues to be inconsistent. There was so much talk in the offseason about him being ready to join the upper echelon of quarterbacks in the SEC, but for me, I'm not sure he's ready yet. And I'm not sure if he's ever going to be ready to jump into the elite of the SEC because he's just not consistent enough on a week-to-week, drive-to-drive, play-to-play basis. And that somewhat also is going to put a ceiling on this Florida team. I don't think they can win the SEC East if Felipe Franks is as up and down as he was in the opener. Now, again, he did have to deal with breaking in several new offensive linemen, so you could give him the benefit of the doubt here, but we've seen this from him in the past, and I'm going to need to see him be much more consistent for a couple of weeks before I'm really a big believer in Felipe Franks' ability to lead an SEC East championship type of team. Another thing that kind of sticks in my mind looking big picture for Florida is in the offseason, you heard Dan Mullen say he wanted to get redshirt freshman quarterback Emory Jones involved with this offense. Of course, Emory Jones brings a dual threat ability that's more tailored to Dan Mullen's schemes as an offensive guy. Maybe that's something to keep an eye on if Florida can get Emory Jones some game reps moving forward. Now, switching sides here to Miami, it was exactly what we thought. You got a redshirt freshman quarterback, two freshman tackles, going up against an SEC defense that's pretty good. You're going to have some issues, and Miami had a lot of issues. Jaron Williams was looking up and seeing Gators all around him all night long. But again, if I am a Miami fan, you have to look and see, just in terms of this season, you have an ACC that's wide open behind Clemson. You have an elite defense. It just feels like it's going to be more of the same, that your offensive shortcomings in this season is probably more youth at quarterback and offensive line. It's going to hold you back from really getting your offense up to your defense's level and competing for an ACC championship. So that's where I think both teams stand. You have two teams that, don't feel like they're ready to contend quite yet in college football. But again, plenty of time for these teams to grow. There are some positives, some negatives, and we'll have to just sit back and watch it all play out this fall.